Now, good morning, man.
Good
God bless
morning.
you.
Good
And
morning.
good days to all my fans, both home and abroad, students, teachers, professor, all the educational stakeholders. I have the honor to introduce to you once again one of our elegant and energetic language teacher, English precisely. This is Tutor Gist. So I have the honor to also interview one of our erudite teachers who God has been using to coach students over the years. So, ma, can we meet you?
Good morning, and thank you for having me, Mr. Ajijola Adesi. I'm Mrs. Ajayi, HOD Languages, Amide Secondary School.
Yes, thank you, ma. We are grateful to have you on this Tutor Gist platform. We are solution providers through robust discussion and exciting videos and making use of all our educational stakeholders. So we have a topic that we want to briefly look into the cause of mass failure in both external and internal examination. And we want you to tell us who is the cause. Is it the government? Is it the teacher? Is it the student? Is it the parent? Or maybe is it because of the systemic failure generally? So ma, we want you to give us an introduction to the cause of mass failure before we now start consider them one by one.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for having me. The issue of mass failure in secondary, in both primary and secondary schools, has been an issue that has been lingering for a while now. And the question is always who is to blame? The parents, the teachers, the students, the educational stakeholders, or the government. From my perspective, I think all these people, they are actually responsible for this mass failure. The students, they have their parts. The parents, they have their parts. Educational stakeholders, they have their parts. Even the government, they have their parts. So it's not just pointing fingers at one person. It's cut across. But majorly, we tend to focus more on the students because they are the ones that actually bear the brunt. They are the ones that attend classes. They are the ones that is expected to do all they need to do so that they can pass or so that they can succeed. You know. So yeah, I won't say it's just the fault of the students or the parents. Or it's interwoven. It's actually interwoven. And everyone they have their faults because they all have their parts to play in having success in education for both internal examinations and also external examinations like the WAEC, the NECO, JAM, and so on. So it's I won't blame one person. Every one of us we have our parts to play. Our failure to play our parts actually leads to failure, mass failure, you know, in examinations.
Thank you, Ma, for this brief introduction to the causes of mass failure. Now, we want you to now begin to dichotomize, to tell us what is the role of the students and what is the role of the teachers, what is the role of the parents, and also the government, the policy makers, and all of those things. We want you to begin to tell us what should have been their responsibility, which they are not actually swinging into, that leads to this mass failure over the period of time.
Thank you very much. I will start from the stakeholders. The stakeholders, they are the people that that have vested interest in education, like the government, the educational bodies, and all that. Now, starting from the government, we realize that most schools do not even have the necessary equipment and facilities. And we know this time and age, students they learn more from what they see. If you are a science student and you don't even know what a puppet or a burette is, and you are expected to do practicals for your examination, how will that kind of a student pass? So government need to overhaul the educational system. Necessary facilities be put in place. It's not enough to just establish schools, but necessary facilities should be put in place. When you check the percentage of failure in public schools and in private schools, it's far wide apart. In private schools, they have most of the needed things because a parent that pays so much will not have it with the school if they don't have the necessary facilities or equipment. But for government schools, where most of the masses they attend, they don't have all these things. Government established schools, many of them are mushrooms. If you go to some villages, you see students learning under the trees, sitting on the floor, and they say they are also students. So government should just say my child that sits under an open weather, rain, sun, and it's what can that kind of what can that child learn? In that particular situation. Definitely, the atmosphere, the environment is not conducive for learning. So government will need to provide necessary facilities. Let them build schools that are conducive for learning. Let them create an environment that are conducive for learning. Many students they want to learn, but if the environment is not conducive, it's nothing. Just imagine teaching a child teaching students in a classroom that is so congested and it's hot, and everybody seems to be fanning themselves, even the teachers. Little or no learning will take place in that kind of environment. Also, employment of qualified teachers. Many people are running to education, or maybe because they believe the pay it's now better than what it used to be.